Hello viewers, I'm Taran Kumar Goonwal, Assistant Professor in St. Andrews Institute of Technology and Management, Gurgaon. The following video is prepared as per the syllabus and course outline of Maharshi Dayanand University. However, there are mostly general topics which cover the working and theoretical aspects of civil engineering. For best understanding and conceptualizing clearly, please do not skip the video and watch till end. At the end of each topic and each section, we will be discussing about the related important questions, feasibility and application. Let's start the video. Hello students, hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. In today's session, we'll continue with the subject engineering geology. And in this topic, we'll discuss about the improvement of foundation rocks. So before that, we'll discuss a few points about foundations, its workings and scope. So monitoring of the construction of foundations for road related structures is concerned not only with verification of compliance with the design requirements, but also with the construction methods, permanent and temporary works, and safety measures necessary to achieve adequate and economical foundations. तो प्रोजेक्ट मॉनिटरिंग सिर्फ डिजाइन रिक्वायरमेंट की कंप्लायंस के लिए नहीं, बल्कि टेम्पररी और परमानेंट वर्क्स की सेफ्टी मेजर्स, जो भी कंस्ट्रक्शन मेथड यूज किए हैं उसकी इकोनॉमी, सब कुछ कंसिडर किया जाता है एक कंस्ट्रक्शन मॉनिटरिंग में. In this session, guidance is provided about relevant design aspects and the issues which commonly arise during construction of foundations for conventional straight footing. And these foundations usually located at depths not more than 5 meters below ground, but in certain instances can be considerably deeper. Sometimes it is economical to carry out soil compaction, replacement or other soil improvement procedures in order to foundation on weak soils at shallow depth. These specialized procedures are also briefly discussed here. So, function of foundation. The primary function of foundation is to provide adequate support to the structure which they carry. This implies sufficient load-bearing capacity to safely resist the effects of various combinations of permanent and transient loads transmitted to the founding strata, without excessive deformation which could otherwise compromise the integrity of the structure or impair its use. तो फाउंडेशन का फंक्शन यही है, लोड बेयरिंग कैपेसिटी प्रोवाइड करना एक स्ट्रक्चर को जो कि एक्सटर्नल लोड को सेफली बेयर कर सके. The safe or allowable bearing pressure is therefore a function of ultimate load bearing capacity of the ground at the founding level and the load settlement characteristics of the underlying layers. तो इसीलिए सेफ या फिर बेयरिंग प्रेशर की अगर हम बात करते हैं तो ये अल्टीमेट लोड बेयरिंग कैपेसिटी है ग्राउंड की फाउंडिंग लेवल पे, और जो अंडरलाइंग लेयर्स है फाउंडेशन के, जो नीचे लेयर्स हैं, उनकी लोड सेटलमेंट कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स किस तरह की हैं, उस पर फाउंडेशन की वर्किंग डिपेंड करती है. इन द केस ऑफ रॉक फाउंडेशंस, द अलाउएबल बेयरिंग प्रेशर is determined from rock mechanics principles with due regard to the degree of weathering, the inclination of rock strata, the presence of shear planes, fissures and clay gods in the bedding planes, among other factors. On intact rock foundations, bearing capacity may be less critical than other criteria, such as safety against overturning of earth retaining components, for example. The interaction between the structure and the ground when founding on compressible soil is an important consideration regarding the articulation of structure, usually a greater degree than when founding on rock. The deformation of soils under load can vary greatly depending upon the type and depth characteristic of the soil, which are determined from in situ or laboratory tests. When it is uneconomical or unsafe to found at shallow depth due to estimated magnitude of deformation, it becomes necessary to resort to soil improvement or support the piles or caissons. तो जैसा कि हमने डिस्कस किया, सॉइल क्राइटेरिया, जो सॉइल के टाइप्स है, सॉइल के लेबोरेटरी टेस्ट्स हैं, या उसकी किसी भी तरीके की इन सिटू डिटर्मिनेशन की जा रही है, किसी भी तरीके के उस पर टेस्ट कैरी आउट किया जा रहा है, उस पर डिपेंड करता है कि फाउंडेशन किस टाइप की देनी है। और अगर हमें अनइकोनॉमिकल अनसेफ फाउंडेशन मिल रही है या फिर हमें सॉइल कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स ठीक नहीं मिल रही है, सो उस केस में हमें सॉइल इंप्रूवमेंट वर्क या कुछ पाइल्स और कैशन वर्क करना पड़ जाता है। The safety of foundations of river bridges and drainage culverts is also subject to potential effects of scour. और क्योंकि जैसे कि हम लोग डिस्कस कर चुके हैं, वाटर इमर्स्ड स्ट्रक्चरल मेंबर्स में स्कावरिंग इफेक्ट भी होता है। Resistance to undermining the scour is dependent on the nature of support strata, the depth to the founding, and the protective measures, among the other factors which are beyond the scope of improvement of foundation works. So those scopes are covered in other methodologies. For example, in this type, we do not only change the foundation work, but we also change the type of superstructure and load bearing capacity of the superstructure. For example, we'll provide suspension bridge. So design and construction factors. The factors which relate to the foundation and which influence the design of structures and subsequently become concern of contractor, and those monitoring the construction of foundations can be summarized as follows. So first is founding material, and founding material further depends on two parameters. First is soil oblique rock, and second is degree of compressibility or expansiveness or maybe porosity. Next is depth of founding. Then in depth of founding, there are shallow foundations which are usually not more than 3 meters. Then intermediate foundations which are usually between 3 meter to 6 meter, and then deep foundations which are usually greater than 6 meters. Location of foundation. Land environments which are further subdivided into those which are remote from existing constructions or adjacent or near to existing services, roads, railways, pipelines, etc. or structures. Water environment in which the structure is required to be founded below water level or in waterlogged or unstable ground. Method of construction of foundation. Access to and drainage of excavations, open unsupported excavations, excavations which require lateral support, underpinning of existing structures, and the method of excavation and removal of spoil. So the circumstances which render the foundation unsafe or uneconomical to construct conventional spread footings and preferable to resort to piled foundation or caissons can vary greatly from site to site and are likely to be influenced by the rate of progress needed to meet tight programs, especially in water environments subjected to flooding. So geotechnical investigation of foundations. It is of the utmost importance to obtain adequate and reliable knowledge of subsurface conditions from well-planned geotechnical investigations. The information provided by such investigation is required initially for design purposes and later as guide during the tender and construction stages. जियोटेक्निकल इन्वेस्टिगेशन फॉर्मुलेशन की जरूरत पड़ती है दोनों केसेस में, डिजाइन पर्पसेस के लिए भी और जब उसका टेंडरिंग हो या फिर उसकी मेंटेनेंस स्टेज हो उस केस में भी जरूरत पड़ती है. At the design stage, information about the founding conditions is one of the main determinants in the selection of structural form of bridge, the span lengths, and the configuration of the components of these structures. At the tender age, the foundation and other site data are needed for the purposes of planning and pricing the permanent works and any temporary works required for safety during excavations. तो डिजाइन स्टेज में जो भी फाउंडेशन कंडीशन है उसकी इंफॉर्मेशन ही इसके लिए मेन डिटर्मिनेंट है। और the information is carried through to the construction stage for implementation and the guidance of those monitoring the work. So, sources and avoidance of risk of foundation construction. Foundation work is usually that part of construction of structure which is the most uncertain and prone to risk. क्योंकि underground structure है इसलिए पता नहीं चल पाता कि जो design requirement है वो fulfill हो पा रही है कि नहीं. The sources of risk include factors which affect the safety of work during construction and utility of structure on completion such as follows. तो ये कुछ risk factors हैं जो कि foundation laying के दौरान आते हैं. Inadequate or inaccurate data obtained from geotechnical investigation. हो सकता है कि geotechnical investigation से सही report ना आई. Inadequate or variable conditions encountered at the anticipated founding level. हमने जो founding level पे सोचा था कि ये condition या ऐसा strata मिलेगा वैसा हमें ना मिला हो. The difficulties of access and drainage and the potential for inundation of water environments. The potential for the collapse of excavation sites, especially in the presence of groundwater and when the excavation are adjacent to existing rocks, railway lines or structures. And next is inadequate lateral support or excavations, which can lead to settlement damage of adjacent services or structures. तो कई बार excavation के केस में हम properly lateral support नहीं देते हैं, जिस केस में सेटलमेंट डैमेज जो आसपास के सर्विसेज या स्ट्रक्चर्स हैं उनके साथ सेटलमेंट डैमेज हो सकता है. अनरिलायबल फाउंडेशन डेटा can result in possible delays and additional costs in rectification, potential claims for delay, and in extreme cases to foundation failure. Notwithstanding extensive foundation investigation, it need to be remembered that geological conditions can be highly variable even over short distances. Founding conditions should therefore always be treated as uncertain prior to excavation. तो इसीलिए हमेशा ये इसमें कंसिडर करना है कि जियोटेक्निकल इन्वेस्टिगेशन में कितने भी क्लोज डिस्टेंस हो, जो रिपोर्ट्स हैं वो काफी ज्यादा एक्सटेंट तक वेरी कर सकती हैं. इसीलिए हमें उसको अनसर्टेन पैरामीटर्स को कंसिडर करते हुए चलना चाहिए फाउंडेशन एक्सकवेशन के दौरान. जैसे कि हम देख पा रहे हैं बिल्कुल वेरिएबल फाउंडेशन है सैंडस्टोन के केस में, अलग अलग टाइप का बेडरॉक और बेड स्ट्रेटा मिल रहा है. Uniformity in foundations is necessary to avoid the risk of differential settlement and distortion of structure. तो यूनिफॉर्मिटी जरूरी है ताकि डिफरेंशियल सेटलमेंट को अवॉइड किया जा सके. When founding conditions at the anticipated levels differ significantly from those anticipated, advice should always be to sort from the engineer on steps to be followed. अगर हमने कोई डेटा एंटिसिपेट किया है एक पर्टिकुलर फाउंडिंग लेवल पे और हमारी जो वैल्यूज हैं वो उस वैल्यू से अलग आ रही हैं, तो जो भी कंसर्न जियोटेक्निकल एक्सपर्ट हैं उससे कंसल्ट करना जरूरी है. A provisional sum for additional foundation investigation should be included in BOQ. तो इसलिए additional foundation investigation should be carried out in this case. Identification of specific hazards and risks of foundation construction and formulation of means to counteract these are critical initial steps in the avoidance of risk on any project, and this must be followed by diligent application and monitoring of the contractor's health and safety plan as discussed. Additional exclusion measures such as double lining of coffer dams or lowering the groundwater level using sumps, wells or well points outside the excavation. These are other specialized drainage methods and described in the references. So if at any stage during the excavation the inflow of groundwater is perceived to render the work dangerous, the monitoring staff must bring the matter to the contractor's immediate attention or instruct the evacuation of the excavation in the event of emergency. At the stage of inspecting the ground at the anticipated founding level, ponded or running water should always be removed by installation of additional pumps if necessary, as verification of the adequacy of the foundations and subsequent concreting of the permanent works could otherwise be compromised. इसलिए जब भी फाउंडेशन के लिए हमें एक्सकैवेशन करनी होती है और हमें एक सिग्निफिकेंट डेप्थ तक जाना होता है, तो उस केस में हमें एडिशनल पंप्स लगा के रखने चाहिए, क्योंकि वाटर कभी भी पीप इन कर सकता है. So this is first case is open unsupported excavations. This form of excavation is often the quickest, most economical and accessible for a foundation in shallow or intermediate depth in relatively stable soil and when space is not a problem. The main design consideration is that stability in order is that of stability of the excavation side, slopes the safety of which must be verified in writing by CCB in order to comply the requirements of OHS Act construction regulations. तो सबसे इकोनॉमिकल और सबसे क्विक मोड है ये वाला अनसपोर्टेड एक्सकावेशन ऑफ फाउंडेशन. इस केस में जो फाउंडेशन है इस हमें स्पेस ज्यादा चाहिए होता है, इसमें कन्फाइनमेंट नहीं होती है. सो दिस इज अ 8 मीटर डीप open support system excavation. So these are the side slopes which are determined by the geotechnical experts so that it does not collapse. Another approach is ground anchors. So ground anchors employed in the construction of foundation are subjected to provision of specifications and usually comprise two main types. First is post-stressed tendons, comprising threaded bars or strand with alternative anchor configurations and differing arrangements for stressing and re-stressing or de-stressing. Then there is soil nails, comprising unstressed or lightly tensioned high-yield stress bars, which are usually fully grouted and act together with a reinforced short cleat member which retains the material between anchors. तो सबसे पहली अप्रोच है ग्राउंड एंकर इम्प्रूवमेंट के लिए. Both the type of anchors can be used for temporary or permanent work. So post-stress tendons or soil nails. However, only post-stress anchors are employed to resist high force imposed by retained soils and water pressures, or to impose high forces required to stabilize rock strata with inclined shear zones. Untensioned soil nails are designed to give stability to excavated soil faces and are usually concealed behind precast concrete or similar facings when required for permanent visible locations. Next improvement work is by lateral support and underpinning system. So first part in this is coffer dams. The function of a coffer dam is to provide safe working space down to founding level when lateral support of the surrounding ground is required and from which water is excluded sufficiently to provide access for workmen, plant, etc. and removal of spoil and excavation of permanent work. So a coffer dam is usually a circular rectangular enclosure which is driven into the ground prior to the commencement of excavation to a safe depth in relation to the anticipated founding level in order to provide lateral support and limit the ingress of groundwater to a degree which can be controlled without excessive pumping. तो कॉफर डैम एक टेम्पररी स्ट्रक्चर बनाया जाता है एक रेक्टेंगुलर और सर्कुलर एनक्लोजर की फॉर्म में, जो कि ग्राउंड में बनाया जाता है किसी भी एक्सकवेशन करने से पहले, और एक सेफ डेप्थ तक बनाया जाता है जो कि हमने जो हमारा एंटिसिपेटेड फाउंडिंग लेवल है वहां तक, ताकि कोई भी वाटर इनग्रेस को कंट्रोल किया जा सके बिना किसी एक्सटर्नल पंपिंग के. इसके अलावा ये लेटरल सपोर्ट भी प्रोवाइड करता है. Coffer dams and caissons fall into same class of structures. The main difference being that coffer dam is generally a temporary structure, part or all of which is removed after construction, whereas the caisson is primarily a permanent structure or one which is subsequently incorporated into the permanent work. Cofferdams may be used down to depth of about 15 meters below water level, depending on the nature of surrounding soil. These structures offer the advantage of access for purpose of inspection and verification of quality of the foundations. However, the installation of removal of cofferdams can be slow and expensive and is often avoided in favor of construction using caissons or piles. Cofferdams are normally constructed using one of the alternative embedded system walls listed in the following subsection. तो cofferdam का इंस्टॉलेशन और रिमूवल काफी स्लो और एक्सपेंसिव हो सकता है, इसलिए क्योंकि कैशन और फाइल अवेलेबल है इसलिए इसका यूज इतना ज्यादा नहीं होता है. So lateral support system and the factors which influence the selection of lateral support system are those listed in subsection below. The magnitude of ground movement which can be tolerated by adjacent services and structures when applicable during and after construction. And second is the availability of the skills, plants and materials needed for this specialist aspect of foundation work. So lateral support system is further divided into two classes. First is embedded walls and second is reinforced soil. So embedded walls which act either as vertical cantilevers to support the excavated faces or which are successively braced or tied back to ground anchors at greater depths as excavation proceeds. तो embedded walls vertical cantilevers की act करते हैं जो कि excavated faces को support करने का काम करते हैं. Then reinforced soil which comprise soil nails, जैसे कि हमने soil nails के बारे में discuss किया. High yield stress bars fully bounded by grout in the retained soil, inserted in the ground behind the excavated face as the work progresses in stages, acting together with mesh reinforced shotcrete covering of the face. Other forms of the reinforced soil described in the references are not normally applicable to the support of excavation required for road related structures. तो reinforced soil के केस में जो भी एक्सकावेटेड फेस है, जो भी कट किया हुआ जो स्लोप है, जो फेस है, उसके अंदर हाई यील्ड स्ट्रेस बार्स इंसर्ट किए जाते हैं एंड दे आर फुली बॉन्डेड बाय ग्राउट इन द रिटेन्ड सॉइल. उसके अलावा उसके ऊपर मेश लगा के शॉटक्रीट कर दिया जाता है. The forms of embedded walls most likely to be used to support the excavation of bridge foundations are steel trench sheets, steel sheet piles, precast concrete piles and steel soldiers with timber lagging. तो ये सब embedded walls की types हैं जो कि bridge foundation या फिर किसी भी foundation की excavation को support करने के काम आते हैं. So steel trench sheeting is manufactured in South Africa and is suitable as a means of support for shallow excavations which are not normally exceeding a depth of about 4 meters. Trench sheeting is an economical support system for narrow excavations, often required for foundations between or adjacent to existing rock or railway lines. As the system can usually be installed and removed quickly, it is particularly convenient when railway occupations limit the frequency and duration of foundation work permanently near two busy export and commuter line. तो स्टील ट्रेंच जो अप्रोच है ये लगभग 4 मीटर से ऊपर जिससे जो ज्यादा डीप नहीं होती फाउंडेशन उनमें काम आती है. एक इकोनॉमिकल सपोर्ट सिस्टम है. इसके अलावा ये जल्दी से इंस्टॉल और रिमूव किया जा सकता है और इसकी जरूरत वहां पे पड़ती है जहाँ पे हमें वर्क एक पर्टिकुलर टाइम स्पैन के लिए परमिटेड है. इस वक्त इसके दौरान काम करना है तो उस टाइम पे ये वाली अप्रोच यूज की जा सकती है. नेक्स्ट इज स्टील शीट पाइलिंग which are braced by props or tied back by ground anchors is the most common form of lateral support for intermediate and deep excavations, especially from a watertight wall or enclosure. However, steel sheet piles are imported, expensive, and sometimes difficult to procure, which can delay the start of construction. Precast concrete piles and steel soldiers with timber lagging are an alternative to sheet piles, but do not exclude groundwater to the same degree. So precast concrete piles, sheet स्टील शोल्डर्स, और इसके अलावा टिम्बर लैगिंग को हम यूज कर सकते हैं स्टील शीट पाइलिंग की जगह पे, पर इनकी एफिशिएंसी ग्राउंड वाटर को एक्सक्लूड करने की नहीं होती है. In the case of bridge widening and doubling, it is often necessary to remove parts of existing road embankments and to support the remaining cut faces in order to provide safe working space for the construction of new foundations. Lateral support comprising soil nails with mesh reinforced shotcrete facing is particularly advantageous in these circumstances, as these can be installed very quickly at vertical increments about 1 in 5 meter as excavation proceeds. However, this system is not suitable in most instances below the water table or in the presence of soft clays or boulders. तो ब्रिज वाइडनिंग या फिर डबलिंग के केस में हमेशा जो भी एम्बैंकमेंट की जो एग्जिस्टिंग रोड की जो एम्बैंकमेंट है उस फेस को कट करके रिमूव कर देना चाहिए. इसके अलावा लेटरल सपोर्ट जिसमें कि सॉइल नेल की जो अप्रोच है वो यूज होनी चाहिए, और जो शॉर्ट क्रीटिंग वाली जो टेक्निक अभी डिस्कस की थी वो भी हम यूज कर सकते हैं, पर अगर वाटर टेबल नजदीक है, सॉफ्ट क्लेज और बोल्डर्स हैं, तो ये वाली टेक्निक यूज नहीं करेंगे. ये कुछ इस तरीके से शॉर्ट क्रीटिंग कर सकते हैं. पहले यहाँ पे सॉइल नेलिंग कर देते हैं, फिर उसके बाद उसके ऊपर मैश लगा के शॉर्ट क्रीटिंग. The references provided detailed information about the range of application advantages and disadvantages and comparative cost of alternative lateral support system available, as well as guidance about the design and installation of these systems. So next is underpinning. The need for underpinning of existing structure can arise in several circumstances which are associated with roadworks, such as the widening or doubling of existing bridges, which require new foundations adjacent to the existing foundations, the introduction of new traffic lanes in built-up areas where cutting extend close to road reserve boundaries and affect adjacent buildings, and then foundation of bridges or culverts which have been undermined by scour or piping of granular founding strata. And in the case of culverts, it will be necessary to compare the cost of the remedial works with that of replacement of the culvert in its entirety before embarking on reinstatement of the support. So in the first two cases, that is this one and this one, when we have to widen or double up the existing bridge, or we have to introduce new traffic lanes, the need of underpinning can be caused by following. First is the reduction or removal of lateral support to the material under existing foundations. Second is a change in water table, which affects the strength of compressibility of soil under existing foundations that may lead to unacceptable settlements. And third is the possibility of settlements of structures due to underground excavations or vibrations, which is caused by blasting and pile driving. So the procedures currently available for underpinning are many and varied and are briefly outlined in the references. When the need for underpinning has been foreseen at the design stage, the proposed method of underpinning should be fully outlined in the drawings and project specification. तो जब भी जरूरत पड़े underpinning की, वो mention कर देना चाहिए drawing में, और जो भी requirement है, जो भी specifications हैं उसमें. When the need for underpinning becomes apparent only during the foundation work, the procedure to be followed must be defined or approved by the designer. Monitoring staff are required to pay special attention to the requirements of applicable method statements and drawings to avoid any shortcuts on the part of contractor during the work associated with the lateral support and underpinning. When underpinning is required, it is essential that a detailed inspection and record of the state of existing structure is made, including photographs, and that these are confirmed in writing by contractor, monitoring staff, and the affected property owner when applicable. A similar inspection and record should follow completion of the underpinning and adjacent foundation work in order to avoid spurious claims or to substantiate claims. So this was all with today's session. In the next session, we'll again continue with this topic that is improvement of foundation rocks. Till then, keep studying. Have a great time. Thank you.
I hope you guys could understand and correlate the topics taught in today's session. If there is any query or subject matter issue, feel free to mail me at the given email ID. Live discussion sessions could also be used for discussion of doubts. Thank you.